Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Springfield Cup, one of the world's most prestigious and historic football competitions, a five-a-side indoor knockout tournament, 60-minute matches with the possibility of 30 minutes of extra time and penalties if required, featuring all 8 teams in the COVID Corsham School Fantasy Football League. A tournament steeped in tradition with a back catalogue of iconic moments too long to squeeze into a 4-hour Top 100 countdown show on Channel 5. The competition's format of play, perhaps as unique as its history. No sidelines or out of bounds, only solid brick walls. No goal nets, only warped metal panels. No stadium of fans, only a small viewing gallery shared by the managers, substitutes, and a few lucky fans of either team. And perhaps, most interestingly, no referees. Only the integrity and diplomacy of 10 player referees, if you will. A system founded on the ideals of honour and sporting respect, but one that in practice often results in altercations and bickering among players. Here to witness the fans be thrilled, the score sheet get filled, the blood gets spilled, and one club's cup aspirations get killed. Alongside me in the commentary box, Gavin Gusborough.
Hello Dave, hello to everyone at home. It's great to be back up here at Springfield. Let me tell you, being here today, the smell of the dressing rooms, the selection of snacks and the vending machine, that tight playing area reinforced with those bone-crunchingly solid walls has really brought back some fantastic and equally terrifying memories for me, Dave. This is a special competition for any player. That can mean special in the sense of the glory that goes with the Springfield Cup, or special in the sense of specialist care over a lengthy recovery period from injury. The strong will prosper, and the weak will try their hardest not to perish here in this one, Dave.
It's perhaps worth pointing out that no fatalities have ever occurred in the history of the Springfield Cup, but I mean to take nothing away from the poetic point that my esteemed colleague Gavin was making. Today, you join us for a quarter-final matchup between the People's Champions, Bences Bastards, and Hardly Athletic FC. Every game in this tournament, of course, takes place inside the Stephanie Millward Sports Hall here at the Springfield Centre, Corsham, so no home advantage for either team really to speak of. 30 tickets only were allocated to each club, and those tickets have been like gold dust in the lead-up to this opening round of the competition. The Cup obviously still means a lot to the fans, Gavin, but does it still hold the same importance for the managers as it always has?
Well, in some cases, I would have to say no, Dave. We have seen in recent years some managers opt in to use the Springfield Cup as a proving ground for their reserve players to stake their claim, rather than fielding their strongest team. I think many managers still hold the Cup in high regard, and as a player, even if you're not having the best time of it in the league, you always knew that if you could string 3 Cup wins together, you could proudly call yourself a Cup winner, and you'd know that your bird's fingered attribute would be getting a good boost of at least 2 for the next season.
Well, Gavin, let's take a look at how these two managers, Darren Shipley of Bences Lane and Craig Mace of Hardly Athletic, have chosen to approach today's Cup fixture with the team news, starting with the league leaders, Bences Lane Bastards.
Thanks, Dave. Well, Bences Lane manager Darren Shipley has claimed on many occasions to have shagged a supermodel on an aeroplane, but he clearly couldn't give a flying fuck about the Springfield Cup if his team sheet today is anything to go by. Shipley is yet to arrive here at Springfield Centre, I'm told, although his team are out there on the pitch warming up as I speak. The Bastards have decided to risk Derek Sims today. He starts in goal. The role of goalkeeper a little more involved in outfield play here at Springfield. And Sims, the cultured goalkeeper that he is obviously well suited to this format. The Bastards' Chris Hendry has been one of the better centre-halves in the league over the first 3 weeks. I mean, an absolute liability defensively, as most are. But what sets Hendry apart is he's chipped in with 2 goals of his own to counteract some of his own personal deficit. However, Hendry has, as I'm sure many of you have seen in the tabloid newspapers, had a heavy week of cocaine use and womanising and didn't fancy it this week. Shipley, who was of course featured in many of the more heinous photos strewn across this week's papers alongside Hendry, has chosen to give the promising youngster Michael Edmondson a game at centre-back today. The tippy-toed, bright-eyed doe Edmondson has, however, perhaps blown his shot before kick-off here, having forgotten his kit. In midfield today, it's a Bences Lane boy through and through. An emotional day for him today as well, I'm sure, being named captain. It's Daniel Powles. You know what you're going to get from Powles. It's 100% always. And any goalkeeper who's stared down the barrel of a Powlesy punt can tell you that's a real weapon in his arsenal. Two wingers preferred today in the form of Stuart Deacon, a player whose left foot would be more used serving as a cheerleader for his right foot than touching the ball. And strangely also a player who could beat a lot of fellas in a sprint race, hopping only on his right leg. So you go figure it out. And Ben Rose, who scored and was sent off in his last league outing, completes the lineup for Bences Lane.
And how about the pride of colour, Hardley Athletic FC?
Is Craig Mace fucking about in the Springfield Cup? Hardly. I just thought that up actually, yeah. No, Hardley Athletic are fielding a strong team today. Dean Norris, with his foolhardiness and his trademark face block, is starting to carve out a place for himself as Athletic's first choice goalkeeper, allowing Captain Saunders to play outfield. And Norris continues in goal for the Piemen today. Playing at centre back, it's Stuart Deacon's other half, Sam Perry. This heavily left-footed wing-back is being played slightly out of position today at centre-half. It'll be interesting to see if he and his former Caution County Cowpats teammate Norris will be able to contain the wiry front pair of the Bastards today. Colin Sims is absent again today. There have been rumours of a rift between himself and manager Mace after he was left out of last week's league fixture despite scoring a wonder goal to win the game the week previous. Sims was reported to have hosted a lavish birthday party the night before last week's game, which apparently the manager did not take kindly to at all. Instead, Mace goes with a midfield pair of Pritchard and Saunders, a tidy duo there. And although he's my boy in that, I think Powlesy of the Bastards is going to struggle against these two today. If the strength of that midfield doesn't show you that Hardley Athletic are in it to win it, then the fact that Daniel McCabe starts up front surely will. One of the best strikers in the league, McCabe will be licking his lips at the prospect of facing the youngster Edmondson today. Not because of Edmondson's luxurious hips, I don't think McCabe's like that, but because it's a mismatch if ever I've seen one.
They certainly are luxurious, Gavin. And Gavin, I'd like to thank you for your hospitality this week. I'd like our listeners to know at home that my colleague and friend Gavin Gooseberry is a good man who helps his friends out when they're in need.
Oh, Dave, you're more than welcome. I know things have been hard for you at home with the missus, and I'm more than happy to help.
Yes, last Thursday was just one book club meeting too many. I couldn't take it anymore. I mean, Lord of the Rings? What a load of bollocks. It'll be a while before my wife gets her hands on my precious ring, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, alright, Dave. You can tell me, but that don't mean you need to.
Still no sign of Blasters manager Darren Chipley, but it's time to take you into the match action from this Springfield Cup quarter-final between Bences Lane Bastards and Hardley Athletic FC. It's been an untidy first 15 minutes or so here. Hardley Athletic very much on the front foot with the majority of possession, but the clumsy determination of the Bastards keeping them on level terms so far. No real clear sights of goal for either team yet. Derek Sims of the Bastards has the ball within his own D. He plays it out to Powles, who's immediately under pressure from Pritchard. Powles being forced back into the corner of the sports hall there to the right side of his own team's goal. A Powlesy punt sees him out of there. Off both walls and out to the midfield where Deacon has dropped deep to battle with Saunders. But it's Matt Saunders that comes away with it for Athletic. He's advancing up the middle. Edmondson challenges him, but he plays it to the left to Pritchard. Powles trying to get to him. Pritchard turns inside of Powles. Oh, he thinks about pulling the trigger. Heavy touch with McCabe! 1-0, Hardley Athletic. Daniel McCabe. I'm not entirely sure Pritchard meant to relinquish possession to McCabe there. As he cut inside of Powles, the ball got away from him, but McCabe stepped into it and finished nicely. low and hard with his right foot.
Oh, fuck's sake. It seemed like it was only a matter of time. Hardly Athletic had been controlling the midfield, and once again, Saunders this time picks the ball up in a great position and is able to start an attack. Pritchard was thinking he'd have a pop there, I think. But before he can unleash one, he's lost control and McCabe's eating his lunch. No matter. Either way, the lunch ends up in the big fat belly of Hardly Athletic, and they'll be delighted to have made the breakthrough here.
Have you ever read it? It's absolute nonsense. I mean, I'd had a few beers, but it's a book club. You're supposed to give your opinion. I finally gave that bitch friend of my wife, Lisa, my opinion, too. It felt good, to be honest. Perry plays it square to Norris on the edge of the D. And Norris ships it down the line for Pritchard to chase. He's tracked by Powles at the Bastards here. Pritchard controls well and gets a step on Powles. McCabe's lurking in the middle. Pritchard cuts in on his right foot now. Edmondson tries to offer cover, and Pritchard pulls it back for Saunders! Matthew Saunders slots it into the bottom left corner to double the Fat Boys' lead. Edmondson was more than overwhelmed there. He had Pritchard bearing down on him, McCabe behind him to worry about, and no one tracked back to cover Saunders, who was well found by Pritchard. His second assist of the game.
Yeah, Darren Chipley has finally showed up here on the balcony, and he won't like what he's walked in on. It's perhaps like walking in on his wife being scored on for Chipley, except the other fella is the clammy, flabby, irresistible attack of Hardly Athletic, and they were quick to take advantage there.
Chipley is not amused, and he appears to be voicing some frustrations to the Hardly Athletic goalkeeper, Dean Norris here, who's antagonistically engaging with Chipley up on the balcony. I hope our listeners can't pick up on the rather choice language employed by the Bences Lane manager there. But if you can, I can only apologise.
Norris, you prick.
Norris is not happy, and his teammate Sam Perry is having to calm him down here, whilst McCabe is now exchanging words with Chipley, who was really proving a disruption in this match within minutes of arriving here at the Springfield Centre.
Don't make me calm down there, you cunt.
The ball is played back to Perry for Hardly Athletic here, and he smacks it hopefully off the near wall into the Bastards' half, and it rolls all the way through to Derek Sims, who grasps the ball tight to his chest. McCabe was sniffing on the scene there. Darren Chipley has not relented in his berating of the Hardly Athletic goalkeeper Norris. And Sims rolls the ball out to Deacon on the left side. Knocks it back to Powles and immediately goes looking for the return ball, which is not forthcoming from Powles. He instead plays it back to goalkeeper Sims, who touches it past McCabe there. He's striding out of his area. Space for Sims here, and he hits it. It's in! Derek Sims! Inside his own half. The Bences Lane goalkeeper's hammered a shot against the goal panel of his opposite number. And he's got the Bastards back within reach here.
Norris, you
Fair
cunt.
play, Simsy!
What's a go? Gotta do it.
Like an old school
Fucking nice
sweeper,
one,
he
son.
came venturing forward, and he won't hit a shot more sweetly than that.
Fucking get
Chipley is loving it.
Pick that one out,
2-1
Norris,
now.
You cunt. What's a go? Gotta
Norris pumps the ball forward here. Saunders tries to get a toe to it, but it lands in the possession of Daniel Powles of the Bastards here. He's pressured by Pritchard, who's been excellent first half. Powles plays it back to Sims, who has McCabe bearing down on him here. Sims! Oh, Derek Sims! Tried to play it across the field to Ben Rose, but McCabe got to him and has deflected the pass into the goal for Hardly Athletics' third of the day here. Oh, horrible error from Sims there.
wake up,
Good
Derek.
pressure from Hardly
Come on,
Athletic, who encouraged a mistake, but Sims has got to do better there. Based on the first half overall, though, I mean, Hardly Athletic, well worth their 2-goal lead going into half-time. Chipley's livid about that one, but If he'd seen the whole half, he might consider the bastards lucky to be only
Wake
2
up,
goals
Derek,
down.
you dozy bastard!
Oh, I mean, these people talk about it like it's a religious scripture or something. We're talking about little hobbits, and goblins, and hocus pocus here. It's all ridiculous, Gavin. I don't know.
And there the horn does sound for half-time. Half the bastards will want to forget, but they're still in with a chance. Hardly Athletic will be pleased with their first half display and will hope to put this one to bed in the second half if they can. Darren Shipley, the Bences Lane manager, has already vacated the viewing gallery. He was like a rat up a drain pipe there as soon as the buzzer sounded for half-time. Perhaps he's rushing down to the dressing room to meet the players, but that very much had the look of a storm off to me, Gavin. Yeah, I know what you mean, Dave. The Dazzler was fuming as he barged his way through the fans and out the door. I don't know. I suppose we'll have to wait and see if he reappears for the second half. Well, Dave, I hope, of course, you and the missus work things out, but you're more than welcome to stay with me as long as you need.
Thank you, Gavin. I hope so too, but we've been on completely different wavelengths lately. I'm just not sure I want to go back at this point.
Well, I think it's important to figure out what you really want, Dave. Life's too short, you know.
Indeed. And as the players come out for the second half here, there's still no sign of Bastards manager Darren Shipley. Hardly Athletics manager Craig Mace retook his position in the viewing gallery some minutes ago.
I reckon he's chipped. I reckon he's gone, Dave. Which is a shame. It doesn't send a good message to the players, obviously. We're still in this match.
Not at all, Gavin. The Bastards will have to go it alone here in the second half, which is just about to kick off. And it does so now. Hardly Athletic in possession with Saunders. And now Norris. Norris plays it out to Perry. There's some excitement in the viewing gallery now. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
It's Bushy! Bushy's up there on the balcony!
Yes, I'm being informed now that Ryan Bush of the Bences Lane Bastards, when he heard Chipley left the premises, he took it upon himself to come and oversee the second half as the stand-in manager. What a gesture from the club captain.
He's a legend, isn't he? His hair looks great too. I bet he just washed it.
Ryan Bush greeting the fans and slowly moving towards the manager's section at the front of the viewing gallery as play goes on. He really does have a smile that would light up any room. McCabe scores for Hardly Athletic there. But Ryan Bush, like many of his teammates this cup weekend, could be at home, comfortable on the couch with his stunning wife Fiona. But instead, he's shown up today when his club's reserve players need him the most. A true act of selflessness and great leadership if ever I've seen such a thing.
Yeah, Bushy sets a great example for his teammates, but also for a lot of youngsters who will be listening to this at home and learning what it's like to be a member of a team.
Saunders now holding off Rose up against the far wall, and he turns back towards his own goal away from the pressure and finds Pritchard for Hardly Athletic. There's more excitement in the viewing gallery, and it looks like stand-in manager and all-round good guy Ryan Bush is now handing out free t-shirts to those lucky fans up there.
And it's not just the Bastards fans. He's handing them out to the Hardly Athletic supporters too, and they're lapping it up. Safe one for me, Bushy! A medium if possible.
Ryan Bush's generosity knows no bounds, it seems. He spoils us with his immaculate midfield play each week, as McCabe scores for Hardly Athletic. He spoils us by gracing this dingy sports hall with his presence. And still, he takes it even further, handing out mementos that will be cherished for a lifetime by these fortunate few fans, no doubt.
Yeah, and he looks great while he does it, doesn't he, Dave? Extremely fashionable today in his street clothes. Or Marnie for Sarchi, I don't know, but Fruit of the Loom would look good on Bushy.
Oh, I think you're probably right, Gavin. Why can't my wife be a little bit more like Ryan Bush? And we're into the final 5 minutes here, and it hasn't been a contest for some time now. This weakened Bences Lane Bastards team has been completely outclassed by Hardley Athletic. McCabe has been unstoppable, Saunders and Pritchard have been rocks in the midfield, and although Sam Perry has looked uncomfortable at the back at every opportunity, those opportunities have been so few and far between that the front two of the Bastards, Rose and Deacon, haven't really been able to get into the game despite their best efforts. Norris finally takes the free kick here, and he takes it short to Perry, who, nervous as ever, pokes it to Saunders. Saunders turns into the challenger pals, but manages to maintain possession and side-foots it to Pritchard. Saunders carries on his run out to the right side. Pritchard being marshalled by Deacon, dribbling across the sports hall into the opponent's half. Perry has decided to join the attack here. He's making a run up the left, and Pritchard finds Perry. They've got an overlap here. McCabe jostling with Edmondson, but Perry pulls it back for Pritchard! Joe Pritchard gets his name on the score sheet and puts a cherry on top of this. A sweet, sweet victory for the Fat Boys, and a statement to the rest of the league that they mean business in the Springfield Cup. The league leaders don't know what's hit them.
Oh, is this match still not over? I'm getting texts from Darren Chipley. He's down the oak already. Looks like it's getting pretty wild down there, despite the Bastards' poor showing here. Here, Dave, look at the picture he sent me.
Goodness me. Is she one of your friends too, Gavin? Does he hire these people or what? That is grotesquely impressive.
Yeah, I don't know who she is, mate, now. It must be one of Darren's friends.
Well, while the Bastards manager Darren Chipley hasn't stuck around to see the match out, Ryan Bush has stood in for him admirably here, albeit in the face of a crushing defeat. And the final horn sounds, and Hardley Athletics manager Craig Mace embraces Ryan Bush, as we all wish we could at this time. Once Chipley vacated the premises, this match was unusually conflict-free and played in good sportsmanship. The Hardley Athletic players seem gracious in victory as their loyal supporters sing their club anthem. They've certainly played their part too today. Gavin, what's your take on the match that's just unfurled?
Oh, I'm disappointed we didn't get more of a contest, to be honest. But when I seen the team sheet that Darren Chipley wiped his arse with, I knew the Bastards weren't in with much of a shout. All credit to Hardley Athletic, though. They played very well today. Having watched them through the season so far, I think they're starting to find a bit of rhythm. Manager Mace is getting to know his players, and they're starting to gel as a team. Today's performance, I'd say, is the best I've seen from them so far this season.
Oh, fucking hell, Dave, look at this one. Jesus, are those real? I would never think to use them like that. Well, it seems my colleague Gavin Gooseberry has quite the evening ahead of him. Just a quiet pot noodle and a wank for me tonight, though, I think, Gavin. I'll see you when you get back to the flat. Before you go, would you like to pick a man of the match today?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, I attempted to give it to Bushy, but McCabe's put on a great performance today. He scored 4 goals, completely unstoppable for the Bastards' defence. So yeah, man of the match today, Dan McCabe. Right, maybe a chip off, Dave, that's alright. Got to get out there. Yeah, alright. Right, cheers, Dave. Cheers, everyone.
And as our time is just about up here, I bid you at home farewell also. Thank you for joining us today for this Springfield Cup quarter-final. Hardley Athletic 6-1 winners over Bences Lane Bastards, progressing to the semi-finals, which will take place between weeks 8 and 9 of the league action. But for now, from all of the team here at the Stephanie Millward Sports Hall, it's goodbye.